Good evening, friends. Chodesh Tov, a good new month. And Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be here with all of you. And particularly, I know so many of you are here particularly in honor of Eytan Turjeman and his special Devar Torah, his remarks tonight in honor of our upcoming Israel holidays. So glad that you're able to be with us, whatever reason brings you here. In honor of our Israel holidays this evening, I am going to be featuring music from Israel. I mean, we always feature music from the Nava Tehillah community in Israel, but a little bit extra tonight. There's so much coming at us out of Israel. Can we talk about this a little more quietly? I'm trying to stall for you guys, but I'm distracted from what I'm trying to say. There is so much, also this is something I wanted to say, there is so much news coming at us from Israel all the time, and usually it's political, and usually it's upsetting. I think it's really important that we also recollect the amazing flowering of Jewish culture and of Jewish spirituality that happens and is continuing to happen in Israel. And so tonight particularly, I'm wanting to feature the liturgical upswelling from two Jewish communities, one in Tel Aviv, Beit Tefillah Yisraelit, the Israeli house of prayer, and one in Jerusalem that we're a little more familiar with, Nava Tehillah, beautiful prayer. So the first nigun tonight is one that is probably going to be unfamiliar. It's Nava Tehillah's Nigun Iyar, wordless melody for the month of Iyar, and today is Rosh Chodesh Iyar, the beginning of the month of Iyar, so in honor of a new month. Ay, 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 try to sing along. Ay, 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 lay, 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 ay, 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 lay, ay, 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 la, 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 la. Let's turn to page 7 in our Sidurim, in our prayer books. Page 9 if you need the transliteration, or I'm sorry, yes, page 9 if you need the transliteration, and the translation starts on page 4. Invite in the soul beloved to a tune also that comes from the Nava Tehillah community in Jerusalem. I invite everyone who would like to come join me on the bima as we light the Shabbat candles. And this is the first Shabbat this spring that sunset is late enough that the candles are not already lit for us. So I love that moment of noticing that seasonal change, that we're actually bringing in Shabbat as Shabbat is starting. If you're tuning in remotely and you have your own candles, this is a great time to light them. And if you don't, you can just take in our light as well. I invite everyone to stand where you are if you're able, even if you don't want to come close. And from wherever we are, take a moment to exhale the week that has been. And to take in the possibility of rest and renewal, a new month. And invite ourselves to conscientiously arrive in this moment. Baruch אתה Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, friends. Before you get resettled, I encourage you to please greet someone you did not come with and wish them Shabbat Shalom. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achayot gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet kulanu yachad. Shevet kulanu yachad, hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad, hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achayot gam yachad, hine ma tov, shevet kulanu yachad, hine ma tov, shevet kulanu yachad. Page 21. Come, let us sing out. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzor yishenu nekadma fanav betodah bizmirot nariya lo. Sing a new song we sing each week to the same tune, the same words, but this group of people in this exact configuration has never sat here together, so let's make it a new song this Shabbat, page 25. ki gadol Adonai, u'me'olam me'od, norahu al kol Elohim. Ay, 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 lay, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, la, lay, la, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, la, lay, la, lay, ay, ay, lay, lay, la, lay, la, lay, 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 ay, lay, 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 ki gadol Adonai, u'me'olam me'od, norahu al kol Elohim, ki gadol Adonai, u'me'olam me'od, norahu al kol Elohim. Page 31. Even though we're still in a little bit of dreary weather, winter still seems to be keeping its hold rather tightly on us. We remind ourselves that there are nonetheless seeds of light. They're underneath there, waiting. Or zarua la tzadik, ol yishrelev simcha. Or zarua la tzadik, ol yishrelev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Or zarua la tzadik, ol yishrelev simcha. Or zarua la tzadik, ol yishrelev simcha. Page 37. I invite you to stand if you're able for Psalm 29. Reminding ourselves that there is one source of the sunshine and the rain, of the thunder and the serenity. And sometimes all we can do is surrender. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim, Havul Adonai kavod va'oz, Havul Adonai kavod shemo, Yishtachavu Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Ay, 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 lay, lay, ya la, lay, 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 lay. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halavanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel Levanon, Vesirion kemo Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitem, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Shalom, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. You may be seated. Come, my friends, come, my beloveds. Let us greet Shabbat. This tune, like the previous tune we just sang, are also from the Nava Tehillah community in Jerusalem by Daphne Rosenberg, I believe. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmiyanu el hamiyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, leshem u'letiferet ve'litchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lecho v'necha, Ki mekor haberacha, Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekavela. Page 45. Hitoreri, hitoreri, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Page 47. Yaminu small tifrotzi ve'et Adonai taritzi al yad ish ben partzi venismecha venagila lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uv'tzohola toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabela yala la 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 yala la 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 ay yala la 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 ay ay la 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 ay ay la la ay ay la la ay ay la la ay ay la la. Page 49. Now that we have officially welcomed Shabbat, we invite ourselves into the space of gratitude. The Psalm of Shabbat says, Tov lehodot, it is good to give thanks. So I ask us all, not rhetorically, what are we grateful for this Shabbat? A new roof for Shabbat, for peanut butter, for being here, for hopes and dreams, for magnolia trees, and for family. New snow in the mountains because you might as well go skiing in late April. Okay, for all these things. This tune is one that I actually sing with my daughters every Friday night before dinner, but is not very familiar to this community. It's from the Beit Tefillah Yisraeli community in Tel Aviv that meets, starting at about this time, throughout the winter it meets indoors, but starting at about this time of year, it meets on the port in Jaffa, outside as the sun is setting. So you can imagine singing about gratitude, watching a sunset over the Mediterranean Sea. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai. Ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha baleilot. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai. Ulezamer leshimcha elyon, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulzamer l'shimcha elyon. Ulzamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid b'boker pastecha. Be'emunatecha b'leilot. Oh, it's good to give thanks. And with that, we turn to our evening service, page 57. Before we officially call ourselves to prayer, if you haven't greeted the people most immediately proximate to you, behind you, in front of you, across the aisle, and wished them Shabbat Shalom, please make sure you do so now. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaro mariv aravim bechokma potech sharim ubitbuna mishan eitim umechalif et hazmanim ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. In this liminal space between day and night, as light is rolled away before the darkness, let's chant together. Page 58 and 59. Borei yom v'layla, yom v'layla, golel or, mipnei choshech, vechoshech, mipnei or, mipnei or. Borei yom v'layla, yom v'layla, golel or, mipnei choshech, vechoshech, mipnei or, mipnei or. Borei yom v'layla, yom v'layla, golel or, mipnei choshech vechoshech, mipnei or, mipnei or, mipnei or, mipnei or. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari v'aravim. Let's turn to page 61. And if you came here with someone you love, now's a good time to snuggle up with them. And if you came here alone, Now is a good time to relax into the divine embrace. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled, ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Ve'ahavatecha lo tasor mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema is on page 65. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. We continue silently with your choice of biblical selections through page 73. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We turn to page 79 and sing the song that our ancestors sang after crossing the sea, reminding ourselves to live in a present that includes miracles. Micha Macha Bailim Adonai, Mi Kamacha Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot, Osef Ele, Osef Ele. Ay la 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 la, ay ay la 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 la, ay 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ay 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 la 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 la, ay 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 la 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 la. Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed, Le'olam Va'ed. Ya la 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 la, ay ay la 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 la, ay 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ay ay la 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 la, ay ay la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Kol Yisrael. Page 81. We pray our bedtime prayer for nights of peaceful rest. And as I've mentioned in the past, the prayer traditionally ends that the sukkah of peace, the canopy of peace, should be spread over us, over the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. And in our community, we typically add Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, and on all the inhabitants of the world. And this week I want to honor that universal impulse, but I also really want us to attend to that prayer specifically for peace in Jerusalem this week, this Shabbat that precedes Yom HaAtzmaut and Yom HaZikaron, Israeli Remembrance Day, as well as Israeli Independence Day, that we as the Jewish people have a particular stake in the peace of Jerusalem. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Page 85. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam beini ubein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz uvahayom hashvi shavat vayinafash. On page 87, Chatzi Kaddish will take us into our silent Amidah, our own personal prayer time. You're welcome to use this time for your own silent meditations or to pray the liturgy that is in the Siddur from pages 90 to 107. If you are using the liturgy in our prayer book, there is an addition on page 99 for when Shabbat coincides with Rosh Chodesh, with the new month, as it does this evening. So you can attend to that and, of course, use this time however you need. Again, Chatzi Kaddish is on page 87. So we'll go into our silent Amidah together. And thank you to Vic Hansen, who is leaving now, but accompanied us beautifully thus far. The rest of our musicians, and hopefully the rest of you, will be with us to the end of the service. Yitgadol v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'le'olmei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yithalal, shemei dekudsha, b'richo, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'imeru amen. Ay, ay, lay, lay. Ay, 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 lay, lay, lay. Ay, ay, lay, lay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, lay, lay. Ay, 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 lay, lay, lay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 ya la, 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 ay, ay, la, ya la, 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 ya la, 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 ya la, 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 ay, ay, ay. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Page 115. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'le'olmei amaya. Yitparach v'yitshtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yimeru amen. Titkabat zloton uva'utahon dechol beit Yisrael kodam avuhon devishmaya v'yimeru amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimeru amen. Let's turn to page 686. And please join me in a brief prayer for healing. We'll pause after the first sentence, and any of you are welcome to call out names of anyone on whose behalf you're praying, or if you're praying for your own healing, your own name as well. May the one who blesses all life bless and heal these people who struggle against illness. May those afflicted with disease be blessed with faith, courage, loving, and caring. May they know much support and sustenance from their friends, their loving companions, and their communities. May they be granted a full and complete healing of body and soul. May those who seek ways of healing through increased medical knowledge, and those who care for the sick daily be blessed with courage, stamina, and communal support. May all, the sick and the well together, be granted courage and hope. And let us say, Amen. Our Torah portion this week is the double portion of Tazria Metzora from the book of Leviticus. Never an easy portion. And tonight, I don't have to tackle it because we have a guest darshan, a guest speaker, Eytan Turjeman, who has been working very hard in the past few weeks, not only to find something of value to say to us about this Torah portion and connecting it to Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut, the Israeli holidays this coming week, but he's also been working very hard to prepare our community observances of these upcoming holidays, along with Kelly Menachemson, who is also in the room tonight. And I know many other volunteers whom I may or may not know of who may or may not also be in the room this evening. So there'll be more announcements about that later, but for now I want to invite Eytan to share his experience of this Torah portion. We may need this way high for you.
And you can't hear me. Now you can. Well, thank you. In case you're worried, this is not everything, all my dvar. I mean, it's the things we have to do for the shuk on Sunday, which is a long list. My dvar is actually shorter, but nonetheless, I find it important in these times of Israel and this time of a celebration of the 75th anniversary that we're going to do on this Sunday. So come if you don't know about it. Okay. So this week we read the two parashot together, actually, like the rabbi said. They both deal with the impurity and purification laws. One related to women after giving birth, and the other is to people with leprosy. In Parashat Metzora, God is instructing the Kohen how to purify a house contaminated with the plague of leprosy when they arrive to Canaan, Eretz Canaan. First, the house is closed for 7 days. Then, if the plague continues, they have to, and infected the bricks basically, they pull out the bricks and burn them. If after 7 days the plague still exists, the entire house should be torn down. Interestingly, the relevant paragraph in Leviticus starts with, and I quote, Adonai spoke to Moses and Aharon, saying, when you enter the land of Canaan, and I give you, that I give you as a possession, and I inflict an eruptive plague upon a house in the land you possess. Why is God inflicting a plague on houses? Rashi, citing Leviticus Rabbah Midrash, explained that the Amorites, in Hebrew the Amorim, who lived in Canaan before the Israelites, they concealed treasures of gold in the walls during the 40 years where the people of Israel were wandering in the wilderness, so that when they come to Canaan, the Israelites, they wouldn't find the gold. Removing bricks and tearing down the house were ways to expose this gold. Without the plague, there will be no incentive to look for it. People can also cause leprosy, not just God. According to Chazal, there are 10 reasons for having leprosy. Rashi says that slander, or we call Lashon Hara in Hebrew, is the main one. Slandering Israel is a special category. It's called Leotzi Dibat Haaretz. The Kabbalah views leprosy as lack of wisdom. And Rabbi Levi Schneerson finds that Metzora in Hebrew in Gematria equals 406, just like Am Haaretz, ignoramus. Slandering, therefore, comes from ignorance. Jumping 3,333 years forward, according to Talmud Bavli, Exodus was placed in like 1312 BC, so it's 3,333 now. We're now experiencing a modern version of slandering Israel and a plague in our house. The proposed reform in Israel put the country in a turmoil. The voices that argue for and against the proposed reform can sound equally compelling, depending on your ideology. The proponents want to give more power to the Knesset, the parliament, and limit the power of the Supreme Court to review its decisions. Those opposing argue that giving uncontrolled power to the Knesset is dangerous, as it can result in human rights violation and imposing religious laws. In the process, both parties are shaking down the walls, thinking Israel will end up somewhere between less democratic and non-existent if their agenda is not accepted. They are both spreading the plague rather than exposing the gold. Because at least in the beginning, they tried to negate rather than listen to each other. I believe the way we manage our disagreements should be as important as what we argue about. Pluralism was always an important value in Judaism. The multiple opinions drove Judaism to evolve and expand. There was never just one way. There are, though, ultimate values from which we draw. The most important one, as told by Hillel HaZaken in Masechet Bavli, is what is hated by you, don't do to your friend. Causing your friend a distress goes against this value, and sometimes should come even before pursuing what you think is right for yourself or the country. The current conflict in Israel is not only causing huge distress to many, it also divides the people and shows the world our weakness by ignoring the shared ideology that is binding us as a nation, our gold. Some see our strength in strong opposition to the reform, yet they probably share similar ideology to those opposing it. Others see our weakness in the way we manage this conflict, as it bears the risk of splitting the nation and predicts similar divides in the future. This is where I think we should be more careful. Being united doesn't mean not having disagreements. In fact, just like God inflicted plague on the houses in Canaan, disagreements are built into our relationship as an opportunity to explore and grow. However, Chazal make a distinction between machloket l'shem shamayim, which is disagreement about substantial matters that are intended to reveal the truth and eventually promote the people of Israel, and disagreement that are focused on power games and self-interests. The current conflict has them both. Using the narrative of strengthening democracy and establishing balance between authorities, the current government is trying to hide other elements of the reform that are purely self-interest based, like enacting religious laws and securing the prime minister's seat. Throwing the baby out with the bathwater, the opposition first opposed everything and then proposed toned-down version that was rejected by some opposition member, but eventually led to the current blessed collaborative negotiation. Still, in the process, both parties held their positions so hard that it looked like the division of the nation is imminent. For me, it's time to go back to our shared ideologies as Jews and Israelis and juxtapose any proposed changes against them. We might not agree on all of the values. Otherwise, we would have a constitution by now. And after all, we're still Jews. But seeking personal gain and power are definitely not part of them. This week, we are celebrating Israel's 75th anniversary. We built an amazing country in such a short time. Current events and political situation attract most of the attention, but let's not forget the achievement we made as well. First, the fact that we still exist against all odds. Second, building a home for all Jews to live without persecution. Then our achievements in high-tech, agriculture, medical, and not very happy to say, but military, and so many other fields. Finally, our ability to make so much noise in the world with just over 7 million Jews. It shows how powerful and influential we are in spite of our numbers. However, sometimes we have to learn how to utilize our gifts so that we can set a better example to the world instead of attracting fire. One area in which we don't excel is how we became more extreme and more polarized. Some of us are taking Judaism too seriously, following the exact words of the Torah as they see it, and believing that what was relevant 3,000 years ago is still relevant now. The others are not taking Judaism seriously at all. Pluralism in Judaism can thrive when we explore our mission as Jews and grow rather than get stagnant. The current conflict reflects a power struggle between groups who are less willing to explore the other's perspective and are more adamant to impose their way. It doesn't seem like machloket leshem shamayim. Yet this process still bears gifts as it requires us to ask questions that we ignored for so long. When Israelis coming from different ideologies say they fight for Israel, I'm not always sure what Israel means for them. It probably means different things to different people, which is why the conflict is so prevalent. What is our mission as Jews? While it might be challenging to agree on just one answer, for me, being Jewish starts with acknowledging the oneness and sacredness of all life. We should take into consideration the reverence of all life, even when we promote our interests or our interests of our group. Some, like the current Israeli government, believe their actions will eventually benefit all, even if others are yet to see it. The dangerous in this argument is that it can alienate and divide, thus causing more damage than the subjective benefit of the change itself. At the same time, extreme situations lead to conflicts that invite us to ask questions and grow as long as we keep exploring rather than just stopping at the answers. I think many religious and secular people in Israel stopped exploring. Religious for believing they found the answers. Secular for lack of interest and discontent with the religious. I hope that this current conflict will push us back into asking who we are and explore our mission in the world with curiosity and openness and less determination in our opinions and beliefs. I also hope it can trigger more American Jews to explore their connection to Israel from a higher perspective that is less affected by current events. While Israelis have the power to navigate Israel's current events, all Jews, and even some non-Jews, have the ability and responsibility to navigate the underlying spiritual values of Israel as part of a larger group of people called the people of Israel. As such, we can and should raise our voice when these values are not kept. Yet always remember to keep the vision of Israel above all conflict so that we can shake the walls and expose the gold, yet leave the house intact. Thank you.
Yishar koach, and thank you, Eytan. What strikes me, well, there's two things that strike me about your remarks particularly. One is that even though your remarks are so particularly about Israel and how we as American Jews or Jews in America relate to it, so much of what you said is so applicable to our situation in the United States and the current political conflicts in the United States. And the second piece is the charge that you gave us. As American Jews, it's very easy to only pay attention to what's happening in Israel when something that seems really horrifying is happening in the news and our non-Jewish friends and colleagues are demanding that we explain it to them. And I think this charge, as we approach Israel's 75th birthday, that we each take on the responsibility of figuring out a proactive relationship with the land and people and state of Israel that houses about half of the world's Jews on our own terms, with our own inspiration, is a very important charge. So I thank you for that. We will continue appropriately on page 121 with Aleinu. Reminding ourselves that it is upon us to manifest the vision of the world for which we pray. So I invite you to stand as you're able. Eldar and Eytan, would you be willing to open the Ark this evening? עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו. ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. כן, נקווה לך אדוני, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Thank you, Eldar and Eytan. You can close the Ark. And you may rather briefly be seated, because we turn now to page 674 for counting the Omer. Since the second night of Pesach, of Passover, we've been counting the days, 7 weeks, all the way to the time of Shavuot, of the revelation of the Torah. And it's a sacred intention of revelation. It's also an ancient agricultural process of bringing sheaves of grain to the temple. So acknowledging both our land-rootedness as well as our transcendent aspirations. We read the proof text in the Torah on page 674 that instructs us to count this time. Usfartem lachem mimacharat hashabat miyom haviachem et omer hatnufa sheva shebatot mimot yana ad mimacharat hashabat hashvi tisperu chamishim yom vikravtem mincha chadasha l'Adonai. You can read with me. And you shall count from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 full weeks shall they be, continuing 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall present a cereal offering of new grain to the Eternal. The blessing, because it is a mitzvah, so there's a blessing for fulfilling a commandment. The blessing for counting the Omer is in the middle of page 675, and the count that we will be reciting this evening is near the bottom of page 676. So I'm not going to get more specific than that because we don't actually say the number till we've made the blessing. But last night was 15, and we count by ones. So I invite you to stand, if you're able, for the blessing and the counting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. This is the 16th day, making 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. You may be seated. 2 weeks and 2 days, if you follow the mystical, the Kabbalistic associations, is gevura, restraint or discipline, within tiferet, within harmony. So may you have that, whatever that means to you, this Shabbat. We turn to page 131 for Kaddish Yatom, for Mourners Kaddish. And take a moment to invoke the presence and honor the memories of our loved ones who have died at this season, in years past, or those whom we are currently mourning. This Shabbat, we mark the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of members and beloveds of our members, Carol Rothstein, Ruth Lichtenstein, Sheldon Rubin, Rabbi Mortimer J. Rubin, Mildred Wasserman, Sander Gusenow, Cheryl McElhenney, Bertha Moreno, Hannah Wolf, Simon Cy Koppel, Brant Tessler, Leal Parkinson, Rabbi Myron Kimberg, Norman Miller, Elias Lippener, Annie Zadoff, and Elizabeth Wechter, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for blessing. If any of you are mourning someone that I did not name, I invite you to share their names now. Zichrono livracha, may his memory be for blessing. Those of you who are mourning or who are saying Kaddish for a personal loved one, I invite you to stand. And we acknowledge all of you. May your loved ones' memories be for blessing. And it is our custom in this community to stand for the yahrzeit of a rabbi who served the community. So having acknowledged these specific mourners, since this is the yahrzeit of Rabbi Myron Kimberg, I invite everyone to stand if you're able. Rabbi Kimberg was a very beloved rabbi here from the late 70s to 1995. 4? 6? 4. Okay. And he died in 1995. Okay. Zichrono livracha. So Mourner's Kaddish is on page 131. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyamechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulealmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all who dwell on earth. May all mourners be comforted, and may the memories of our loved ones be for blessing. Amen. We have several board members here this evening. I know, but several of you were saying Kaddish, so I don't want to put, no? Okay. I invite our first Vice President, Resa Maddox, to share a few announcements before the close of our service.
And one additional announcement that we'll add in just a minute. Shabbat Shalom. Save the date, Sunday, June 4th, 4 to 6, Hineni 2023. We Are Here fundraiser and auction. Plan to join us for delicious food, fun, and community with an overflowing silent auction, live auction, and an exciting dessert dash to help raise funds for Temple Beth Israel. Registration information is coming soon. I myself am training for the dessert dash now. This Sunday, I don't know if you've heard about the Shuk. It's going to be pretty amazing. And I know that there has been a huge effort. And I know that many people have made a lot of hummus, I heard. And babka, I have heard, and many other things. This Sunday, the 23rd, from 11:30 to 2:30, celebrate Israel's 75th anniversary at Shuk Eugene, an authentic Israeli market right here in Eugene. This event is happening indoors, so there's no reason why you can't come and really enjoy yourself. Penny, would you like to give your announcement now? Do you have something to add, Rabbi? Okay, so on Sunday, you're gonna have to feed me my lines. On Sunday, April 30th, the Not Free to Desist Task Force will be hosting a movie night at 5 o'clock. It's a potluck. And a movie. And a discussion. Where is it? Here at Temple Beth Israel in the social hall. What is the movie? It's gonna be great. It is the Racial Justice Task Force, so it will be topical. Tuesday, the 25th at 6:30 p.m., please gather for a Yom HaZikaron commemoration to remember those who gave their lives defending Israel. Next Wednesday evening, April 26th at 7 p.m. is the second session of Toolbox for Aging. This is an in-person event that will also be streamed on YouTube. And starting Thursday evening, the 27th, there will be Israeli dancing each week in the social hall. Beginners welcome. Monday is the deadline for signing up for 4-part course with Barry Noble and Carolyn Walker Sprung, an introduction to Musar, a practical path to improve our soul traits. See the e-news for details. Next Friday, April 28th, the Erev Shabbat Services will feature a This American Life speaker, Jacob Griffin. His talk is entitled, How to Become a Nice Jewish Boy. His journey from the daughter of a Northern Baptist minister to a lesbian atheist to being a proud Jewish man. Thank you to the musicians for their beautiful sounds. Thank you to Dom Jacobs for streaming. Is there anyone new? Are we doing it? Anyone want to introduce themselves who's here the first time? No one is required to. Everyone is welcome to. Yes. What's your name? And may I have your name? Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. You're very welcome. And I believe that's it, unless there's anyone else who feels moved to introduce. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
And just to correct an omission, thank you, Eytan Turjeman, for your Devar Torah this evening. And thank you to Sarah Haig for providing our ASL interpreting this evening. We will have a little bit of Kiddush out in the social hall. Thank you to Rabbi Jonathan Rubenstein for the challah and the sisterhood for the defrosted goodies from the freezer, and not quite as much challah as Rabbi Jonathan thought he was leaving because the ants got into some of it, unfortunately. But we'll enjoy and we'll share what is left. We'll close on page 39. The very last line of the page, one last prayer for strength and peace, also from the Nava Tehillah community in Jerusalem. Adonai Oz le'amo yitein Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai Oz le'amo yitein Adonai yivarech et amo. Shalom. Shalom. Adonai Oz le'amo yitein Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai Oz Shalom. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, friends, and Chodesh Tov.